thought it was timely to jump online and just send another quick update on life before I head off to Everest. So I'm flying out on the 30th of March. I actually thought I was going on the 29th. So good thing I looked at my flights, check in at about 11:30 during the day and head off to Nepal. And I'll arrive over there late on the 30th and have a couple of days in Kathmandu just to get last minute things sorted. So last minute things on a trip like this being just check that I've got different medications that I need to take up into hills there. So when you're climbing, you take a lot of your own medications with you in case you get high altitude cerebral edema, high altitude pulmonary edema, different things like that. And depending on what ones you can get in Nepal, they're a lot cheaper to get over there than at home. So I'll get over there, I'll do a last minute check with Funzo, who I'm climbing with, my amazing guide, and then I'll fly up into the Khumbu Valley on the 3rd of April and meet with her up there on the 13th of April. So I'll have 10 days up there just to myself, which I'm so excited for. I think, heading off on an expedition of this scale, and life is busy when you're at home and getting ready and doing a bit of work and all sorts of other daily stuff, contemplating whether you actually want to put fuel in your car when it's so expensive, even though my tank's sitting on empty, and wondering if there's any way I can eke it out by pushing it home, all that sort of daily stuff that's going on that just creates noise in our lives, in the world. And so, once you get up into the mountains, just that de-stressing, the pace slowing down, and does something for that feeling of really being really ready to get out and climb. And right now I'm super excited. My training plans haven't quite played out exactly as I hoped. I think you might have seen I had just some blood levels drop down a little bit, and everything's stabilizing there, which is really great news. So I think with a few checks and things like that, I'm in pretty good shape to head up into the mountains, pretty fit and healthy. I'd love to be fitter, and I think a lot of people, unless you're super fit, would leave home feeling like that on an expedition. And also recognize that at altitude, it's not necessarily always sort of the fittest, well, rarely is it the fittest and fastest people that acclimatise and make it to the top of whatever peak they're climbing. It's normally those people that their body adapts well to the altitude, they pace themselves, they're mindful, they're aware of their own, strengths and how to push themselves when times get tough. They're aware of the environment, they're aware of people around them, and they just make an effort to climb well and climb solidly and be consistent without being crazy about anything. So I'm excited to go. I've had a couple of catch-ups with people, and if it's so nice chatting with people and just getting all those words of encouragement, because it really does make a trip like this, that sort of support from back home, makes such a difference to how you feel when you're out there in the mountains. So if you've been listening to this and we are close and you want to jump online or on the phone and just have a quick chat before I go, I love hearing from people. And still fundraising, so I will pop the link in the comments. My plan was to switch to fundraising for MS research soon, and I'll pop another link up for that maybe once I get to Nepal. And in the meantime, any money that I am raising now towards the expedition all heads into supporting the people in Nepal who are working this year on Everest expeditions. The company I'm climbing with, AltiPro, so goes towards them and goes towards Funzo for her guiding. They are tax deductible donations, so that's a bonus if you live in Australia. It just means that the size of donation drops down. I understand it's really tough times for people economically, so I certainly don't expect anything from anyone, but at the same time, if you're wondering what to do with that extra few dollars laying around, feel free to pop it in that fundraising. And also, you know, I've sort of, I guess, pressed pause, if not stop, on any more organisational sort of corporate sponsorship. But if for any reason you're listening to this and you just think, yeah, actually I know a company or, you know, a business owner or someone that I think would really like to still jump on and get their brand aligned with, you know, myself as a woman in her 50s with MS, and, you know, Funzo as a, you know, incredible, you know, gun 35-year-old female Nepalese mountain guide climbing together, absolutely, you know, still welcome anyone that would like to partner in any way. So yeah, I feel like this is a bit of a rambly update. It was a bit spontaneous. I was actually just headed into the doctor's to get an iron infusion because my iron's been low, and he called me in and said, actually, I don't know that we need to do it. So for whatever reason, iron levels have picked back up. Maybe not for whatever reason. They were quite low, and I was feeling pretty anxious about that. And he'd said just pause and wait and have this infusion. But 2 weeks up in Queensland, I did decide to take some supplements, and maybe they've just worked absolute wonders. So onward and upward, and off to Nepal in 10 days. And massive shout out as well to Mountain Designs Anaconda, because, you know, the support of these guys with gear and financially is incredible. And I will be popping up another post soon with some of that amazing gear from Mountain Designs, just as a I guess, you know, a random prize draw for people that do donate. So yeah, if you jump online and you donate $25 or over, and remember, you know, the summit's the limit. There's no limit to how much you can donate, but I am going to be announcing the prize draw of some great gear. So if you do donate between now and when I announce that, I will pop you in that draw as well. All right, if anyone does want to, you know, connect on a phone call, shoot me a message through Messenger. And if you don't have my phone number, I'll send it to you as well. Okay, enjoy the rest of your day and the weekend to come.